A Delaware trooper has been indicted for severely beating ding dong ditch teens. Can you believe it? I mean, it doesn't get much worse than this. Well, it does, but here we are telling another wild story for y'all. And it is pretty wild. Apparently, uh, some teens were playing Ding Dong Ditch, and they ding dong the wrong door. And for that, one of the teens got his eye socket broken by a cop. Yeah, that happened. And we're going to tell you about it right now. But before that, please hit that like, subscribe button. If you don't know me, get to know me. And once you do, hit that like and subscribe. Put on your I can't believe it's not Butterfaces and get ready for this story. And with that being said, let's get into this one right meow. This report is coming from WHYY PBS News. A ding-dong ditch prank was played on a Delaware trooper. Prosecutors say he then fractured the eye socket of a handcuffed teen who kicked his door. So not only did he fracture the teen's eye socket in like some sort of altercation, he had the teen cuffed and then beat him and fractured his eye socket. And that's a cop for you. A Delaware State Police corporal whose home was pranked in August by a group of teenagers playing Ding Dong Ditch has been indicted for fracturing one's eye socket and assaulting another youth who had no involvement in the prank. Jesus. So he just went on a teen assaulting rampage. Corporal Dempsey Richard Walters, a 7-year veteran of the state's largest police force, was charged using evidence captured on his body-worn camera. Oh, Jesus, he had his camera on. That's all bad. You shouldn't be, committing felonies when you have your body camera on your chest and recording. But hey, thank God for us, you do. Authorities said in an announcing the handcuffed of a misdemeanor and felony charges. Excuse me, I said handcuffed. Authority announced this. It didn't say handcuffed. It said handful of misdemeanor and felony charges. Excuse me. Matt Marshall, spokesman of Attorney General Kathy Jennings, said Walters turned off the camera before almost immediately punching the 15-year-old boy in the eye. Hold on. So I just said, you shouldn't be committing felonies with your camera on. So he definitely had the foresight to turn the camera off and then beat the teen to a bloody pulp. But the camera did catch him, apparently catching the teen, and I would assume handcuffing him before turning it off. The cops show up, and voila! It's magic. His eye socket broke. I had nothing to do with it. I handcuffed him. He was sitting there. I turned my back. 2 seconds later, turned around. Boom! Busted eye socket. Houdini! He did it himself. That teen is dangerous. He's a magician, I'm telling you. Okay. So he turned off the camera before immediately punching the 15-year-old boy in the eye. But that the cameras police use in Delaware continue recording for several seconds after they are shot. Whoa! Sam, shut up. Sorry about that. Sam, spot. Go on. Spot. Go on. Stay there. Alright, back to the story. It scared me. It scared me, Sam. It scared me. Anyway, so apparently he handcuffed the teen, turned his camera off, commenced in beating the teen, not realizing that apparently Delaware's cameras record a few seconds even after you shut them off, which is just perfect. So I don't have the video here, but I'm sure if you Google it, you can find that. You can find that video. I'm sure it's got to be out there. Walters faces 1 count of second-degree assault, 2 counts of third-degree assault, and 2 counts of official misconduct, and 1 count of deprivation of civil rights by a law enforcement officer. Real quick, before I get to this next paragraph, if this video goes past 10 minutes, please jump over to YouTube. You'll catch the full video there. And let's continue. Quote, Dempsey Walters chose to extract his own brand of personal justice by assaulting 2 defenseless minors and attempting to conceal his conduct, Jennings said. Quote, he will now face criminal consequences for his actions, and he very well freaking should. That's insane. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm a 90s kid, of course. Ding Dong Dish was just something you did. You know what I mean? It was almost like a rite of passage. Everybody did it. It was like doing prank calls before there were cell phones. We all called the pizza place asking how thick their crust was and telling them they should wipe their ass. We all knocked on people's doors and booked it. We all did that. I mean, that was just a rite of passage as a kid. That was part of growing up. Never did we expect to get our ass whooped for it, especially by an adult, especially by a cop. I mean, come on, man. Like, not only can this guy not take a joke, he's just ruthless, power hungry, and thinks he can do whatever he wants. Thank God they have cameras on these punk-ass cops these days. Jennings said the indictment marks the first time the civil rights charge has been used since it became a law earlier this year. Damn, they just made it a law last year? That's crazy. This crime has a mandatory 2-year prison term. Cole Melissa Zeebley, superintendent of the state police, said Walters was suspended without pay the day after the alleged attacks, with the intention to fire him. Why suspended? Why not just immediately fired? I mean, as soon as you see the footage, done. Why would you get suspended? What kind of investigation do you need to do at that point? The evidence is there. It's blatant. It's not circumstantial. It's concrete. You're done, bro. You're done. You're fired. You're in handcuffs. You're in jail. No bail. Bye. Get the hell out of here. Goodbye. Quote, it is disheartening when a law enforcement leader has to share news regarding the betrayal of both the public's and the agency's trust. But today, I'm here to do exactly that, Zeebley said. Please know that we share the same concern and outrage as everyone else about this incident when we proactively reviewed body camera footage. Yeah, for some reason, I don't think they do share the same outrage and concern that we do. I think the outrage would sound more like, damn these cameras! Not, damn these corrupt cops. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Teen allegedly attacked on the ground and in police car. The episode began about 8:30 p.m. on August 21st, when the 15-year-old and 2 friends, also minors, decided to do the ding-dong ditch prank at Walter's house near Ellesmere, west of Wilmington. The prank involves one person approaching the home, ringing the doorbell, or hitting the door, and then running away. We all know how it works, right? The indictment spells out what authorities contend happened Next, the teenager, his face covered, ran up to Walter's door, kicked it, and ran off. Walter's girlfriend, who was home, heard a loud bang and viewed the home's Ring camera security footage, then called Walters to inform him what had occurred, providing a description of the prankster. Walters decided to drive towards his house and notified fellow troopers and nearby agencies about the incident, the indictment said. Jesus, this guy wasn't even home. But while en route home, he spoke to someone in Ellesmere who said he had seen 3 youngsters run toward Taft Avenue. So Walters drove there and met 2 Newport town cops, telling them what had occurred. Walters knew that a teenager whom he had argued with and briefly detained a few days earlier lived on Taft Avenue. Oh, okay. This is a revenge ding-dong ditch. So he and a Newport officer knocked on that kid's door, and the teenager answered. Walters, quote, forcibly pulled him outside and forced him onto the ground, causing unspecified injuries, the indictment said. Then Walters handcuffed the youth and detained him in the back of a police vehicle. The teen was later released without being charged. Walters started to head home, but was informed that another trooper had found the youth who had kicked the door, and his 2 friends. When Walters arrived at the scene, the 15-year-old was face down on the ground as the trooper, quote, struggled to handcuff him behind his back. Instead of observing, however, Walters, quote, almost immediately struck the teen in the back of the neck, head with his knee, injuring him, the indictment said. The teen was eventually handcuffed and put in the other trooper's cruiser. While that was occurring, Walters, quote, turned off his body-worn camera, walked to the vehicle, and punched the handcuffed teen in the right side of his face, causing an orbital fracture. The orbital bone is commonly referred to as the eye socket. Now, I don't know what y'all know about the eye socket, but if you've been in a fight or if you're trained to fight, I believe it takes 10 or 15 pounds of pressure to actually break your eye socket right there. That bone's so thin on the sides of your eyes that literally, like one thing you're taught in training, if you catch someone like with your, not with the full fist, but with your knuckles kind of like bent, and you just sideswipe them right in the eye, you can crush their eye bone real easily. Yeah, so to punch a handcuffed youngster like that is just ludicrous. I mean, that cop should have known he could definitely hurt him like by doing that. You know what I mean? And being a cop, I can only imagine he knows where he's aiming at. So he was aiming for the kid's eye. I mean, if anything, I don't know. You should never hit a kid, but if you're gonna hit anybody, you're only going there if you want to cause severe damage. So I think the cop knew what he was doing and wanted to really hurt that teen, and did exactly what he wanted to do, which is just disgusting, to say the least. Then Walters walked around the vehicle and turned his camera back on, but the punch had already been recorded, with the youth screaming in pain afterward. Is that the officer? I mean, look, I'm probably going to get flack for this, but if you see the picture of this officer, he looks like he used to be a she. It looks like he transitioned. This officer looks like just a... Oh my god, dude. Looks like a lesbian, to be honest. Like, it really does. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Google this up. Delaware trooper charged with beating a teen back in August. I mean, let me know what you think. Zebley said police notified the Division of Civil Rights and Public Trust in Jennings' office on August 22nd after reviewing the camera footage. Oh, wait. Excuse me. The picture I was looking at was Zebley, not the cop that committed the crime. So maybe she is lesbian. I thought it was the officer that committed the crime. But the picture I'm looking at is the officer that charged him. So I apologize. I commend that officer for doing the right thing. Yeah, probably sound like an asshole right now, but let's continue. Jennings said authorities determined that no other officers committed any crimes. She also said that charges show that law enforcement can and does police itself. Sometimes. Quote, the message it sends is that almost immediately afterward, the state police leadership notified our office of wrongdoing and helped us to investigate this, Jennings said. That says a lot about the willingness of police leaders to respond and make sure that there is no unlawful conduct being committed, and if an officer does something like this on his own, and harms a citizen, and that conduct is unlawful, there's gonna be a penalty that gets paid, as there should be. You're damn right, sister. There definitely should be, and I'm glad there is, because he deserves it. And I do apologize again for making fun of the appearance of somebody. That wasn't right. In my defense, I did think they were talking about, or they were showing a picture of the officer that committed the crime, and I was like, he looks strangely feminine, but it was actually a female in the picture with her trooper hat on. You know those Delaware hats that they're different. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the story. As always, if you made it to the end, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love each and every one of you. I'm really glad y'all are here. And again, if you haven't done it yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. And until the next time, stay wild.